So that's where we're at today.
Is that an open meeting, or is that just for family members?
It's family members.
You have to be invited.
Mrs. Lundgren is inviting the residents to attend as they wish. But, I've been invited to say a few words, but I won't stay for the meeting.
Yeah.
There is no, even though certainly we advocate family meetings, that there isn't a connection between Mountain View community and the Family Council.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Any quick questions for Director of the Nursing Home? I understand that the announcement for DON has gone out.
It's gone out with heartfelt sorrow, I believe, yes. She is moving on. She states that she has accomplished a lot of goals that she's set out to accomplish.
You've had an exit interview with her?
We have not. We will be having an exit interview. She will not be leaving until the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
We've been working together to establish, systems are in place, but we're working to establish and find closure to some loose ends. And temporarily, Patty Kane will be assisting me in filling the void, if there should be one, in her absence until we hire someone.
Yeah.
But again, I think there's rumors in regard to Cheryl and I not getting along, et cetera, et cetera. That is farthest from the case. The issue is that she, for her professional growth and personal life, has chose to move on, and I applaud her for that. And but she will continue to be a resource, as I will be for her. So
Okay.
we're very, I'm pleased for her. Life is not a dress rehearsal, and you have to be happy in what you're doing.
Yep.
So.
Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, with regard to what you just said about the exit interviews.
Yep.
That's of interest. I think we should do that for all departments.
We're trying to
And
do
I
that.
think perhaps, and we might just discuss this further, that these interviews be done, ask the person who's leaving to write down their thoughts about what they felt might have been their reasons, if there were any, about leaving.
Well, and I'm used to having a somewhat of a two-tiered exit interview as well, for the fact that obviously you'd like something in writing from the person leaving. But the issue is I would like to know, or a department head would like to know why they're leaving. But sometimes employees won't be as open and for us as it would be if it was a non-biased person, so that there would be a tiered. I'm hoping that it would be a tiered fashion as well.
Yes, good.
Okay.
Point of order, I have a question for Commissioner Solomon. You said you want to have the exit interview for all departments. Do you also mean the exit interview for employees who are terminated?
That's an interesting question. I hadn't thought that. I don't know, let me think about that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No.
Are you here, Bob, for some particular reason?
I'm here for the interest of the opening,
Oh,
For what?
professional
For-
interest.
for the pellet boilers?
Yes.
Okay, we may not, as I said initially, we haven't heard in writing or by phone any other bid for the construction or connection of the pellet furnaces.
Is there no action to be taken today?
We got to take some action. I mean,
I think we gave them 1 week.
we gave them 1 week. If we don't hear
We said
any,
that last week. We can't wait.
as I've always said, I hate to spend $375,000 for that, but if we don't have any other bidders, I'm not sure what our alternative is. Meanwhile, we're losing the benefit of the pellet furnaces through this winter, and I believe the estimate was, if I'm correct, 12 weeks or something like that
Yes.
before it's in fully
Yes.
working condition. So we're going to be,
12 weeks from when they start.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of preparatory work
Yeah.
to do before the boilers even go into
Yeah.
the building.
If you saw the letter to the editor in the Conway Sun from I believe it was Rob Roy, or Roy anyway, from Massachusetts, actually. I think he was here in Carroll County. He sort of criticized the delegation for waiting. I think the commissioners are somewhat at fault as well. But he also said that even though you go out for a second bid, you lose that. Not only do you lose the time, but the people that would be subcontracting to put those furnaces in are coming in cold, and that the savings may not be that great. You may run into other problems as well. So, I mean, that was his take on it. Mr. Brown?
Excuse me. If I could, on page 2 of the December 28th minutes, you, Commissioner Solomon, I'm sorry, Commissioner, where was it? Commissioner Sorensen, when can we see it finished? When would we see this project in operation? Randy replied, not before 6 to 8 weeks, and at least 3 months up and running. So if it's gonna be 3 months, 3 months from now puts you at the beginning of April.
Yep.
So, I mean, we're already, at the beginning of April, you're already talking, you're beyond the biggest part of the heating season.
Right.
So, at this point, why the rush to start tomorrow or next week or whatever? You could actually push this out a little bit at this point if you're talking about the 1st of April.
We also will be using one of those furnaces for hot water. We use a lot of hot water in the nursing home. And the sooner we get that on, that will help reduce that cost as well.
Well, that's all well and good, but, I mean, at a cost of what, $375,000?
Well, go ahead.
Additionally, Mr. Brown, I'd like to point out one other thing. Those boilers are going to be delivered. We have to have a place to put them. I don't like the idea of leaving them out in the weather in the middle of a New Hampshire winter.
Have we taken possession of these boilers yet?
Yes, they've been paid for.
They've been paid for.
But we haven't taken,
We paid for them and we delayed the shipping until that room can be
so we
finished.
haven't actually taken possession of them yet.
They have not been delivered.
They have not been delivered. Was there ever a cost analysis done whether we could buy this boiler and do it ourselves for less money? I mean, we're already at $75,000 more just because we accepted a grant.
No.
No.
Well, that's true.
Well, yeah.
The 75,000
because
is the
of
Davis Bacon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Was there ever a cost analysis done? Because the problem I have is
Yeah.
about a month ago,
Yeah.
I asked this question.
Yeah.
And Mr. Albee tried to correct my question by stating that this was fully investigated back whenever it was. Well, if it was fully investigated, why are we not only finding out about costs associated with this project to this day, but we're still in the negotiating part of trying to secure costs for this project? So it clearly was not totally investigated as Mr. Albee tried to purport. And that's what I'm having a problem with, because apparently it wasn't totally investigated, now everything's gotta be rushed. And it apparently looks like the taxpayers of Carroll County are gonna take the hit once again, because it wasn't totally investigated when it should have been totally investigated. And now we're talking about April 1st. I don't see that, granted, if we get it hooked up, we save some hot water. But at what cost?
Well, do you think we're going to get any other bids in April?
Who knows, but that would give you a little bit more time to try to procure some more bids.
Well, we've advertised for the bids. We got one bid in. We've re-advertised, and at the end of the day, we'll find out whether any other people are interested.
Okay, but to answer my question, Was there ever a
Yes.
cost analysis done?
I'd like to answer that question. When we investigated buying into this whole concept of renewable energy boilers, we did a thorough investigation. We narrowed it down to 2 companies. One which would have given us the boilers for free, but we had to buy into their distribution of the pellets forever. That didn't seem very reasonable.
Well, no, but why are we just finding out these costs now then?
Because we just put it out for bid.
But if it was fully investigated,
Yeah.
back at that point of time, $375,000 should not be a surprise today. It should have been known for, a year and a half at least? So if it was fully investigated, why is $375,000 just coming out now? And was there ever a cost analysis to see if we could do this cheaper on our own than trying to get a grant with all these stipulations tied to it, like the Davis-Bacon Act?
That's the only thing that's tied to that
Only
grant, is that 75,000, okay? That's the only thing tied to that grant. We got a $400,000 grant to do the piping and to buy the furnaces. Cost of hooking it up is due to mechanical and electrical. That's where the major cost is. No matter who we get, that cost is going to be there. And I think it was estimated to be over $200,000 just for those 2 items alone.
Right.
I think I passed that out last week or the previous week, that itemized out, those are the 2 big issues, okay? There was something like $38,000 for somebody to oversee the project and make sure it gets done. The tile that had to come up. Now, anybody puts a bid in, it's going to come up with almost the same figures. My problem would be is should we get another bid in today, I would seriously take a look at that and see if there really is a savings. The saving is going to be, what I want to say, realistic, but yet reasonable, so that, the people that have done the work on the new nursing home, those people would be bidding on the job. And I forget the 2 companies right now, but one would be the engineering, the mechanical, and the other one would be the electrical. Those figures, I think, are going to be the same, no matter who bids on it. The cutting in out of the doors, the price of the doors. As far as the $375,000, I don't think those figures are going to make a heck of a big difference.
Well,
Okay.
I just, like I said, I have a problem with the fact that people are trying to insinuate that this was totally investigated back in the time, and where you're talking about the beginning of April, that if they began today, it wouldn't be till the beginning of April that this would be up and running. If it was up and running today, yes, it would be a great savings to the county.
Mm-hmm.
But as it stated, to be up and running, you're talking about April 1st. So at this point, where it wasn't totally investigated, I would say, suggest that maybe, try to put some more try to get, initiate some more bids, maybe try something else. Because we're not really gonna gain that much of a benefit this winter.
But the question is, how long do we go ahead? How long do we draw this thing out? We may not gain a great deal this winter, but we've got to get those machines going sometime, and it's got to
Absolutely.
be as soon as possible.
Absolutely, and that's once again, which my question hasn't been asked, was there ever a cost analysis done to see if we could do this cheaper on our own?
Yes,
There was.
yes.
And
We could not.
is that cost analysis available?
I don't know.
Could you find out? Because
I will find
I've
out.
also asked for the information on the boilers, and I was told I would receive that, and I haven't received that yet also.
What kind of information did you want?
I want the specifics of the boiler.
Oh, sure, come down to the office, I'll give it to you.
Uh,
Back in August 31st of